today's video, I want to do a little bit of personal attention in the form of doing just a nice little skin exam, face exam. Just kind of check all around your face, basically just see, if there's any dry spots, any spots with like a little rash or anything like that. Just kind of look in there. And I have a little light as well that I'm going to be using. So yeah, it's going to be a nice laid-back role play with plenty of personal attention. But without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so I'm just going to look right here. Okay, so I'm looking at your chin area, and it kind of looks like you got a little bit, just a little bit if I get in here. Okay. You've got just a little bit of dry skin in that area. It looks like just down here at the bottom. Just a little tiny bit of redness as well. When I'm looking down here. Okay. Yeah, it looks like you don't usually have a lot of oil in that area, despite the fact that it's part of the D-zone, huh? It does seem to kind of be what happens the most, I would say, is when you have, a lot of oil on your face, but this seems to be the least oily part of the D-zone. Oh yeah, that is the wind. That is the wind that you hear in the background. Very cold wind today. Good thing you're inside, huh? Actually, it might make it so you have a little bit more dry skin, though. So let's keep an eye on that. Okay. So I'm just gonna move over to your cheek, okay? So I'm looking. I'm looking here. Okay. You have very soft skin. You have very soft skin. So not super oily in this area. It just seems like this is pretty much what would be considered normal. You have like a little freckle there. Looks like you got a little freckle over there. Okay. So your cheek doesn't really look to be quite eventful, to be quite honest. It's just a cheek doing good and not super dry skin. I'm gonna move over to the other one, okay? Okay, so it looks pretty similar, actually. Although you have, what is that? Can you feel where I'm touching? Is that, I think that's a little bit of a patch of dry skin, to be quite honest, which again makes sense considering the weather currently going on. Okay, so I'm going to look at the area around your eyes now, and your nose as well. Just kind of in this entire area, if that's okay. Right. Okay. Not the oiliest nose I've ever seen, no. It seems to be the area that most people get a lot of oil, though. But yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Not too bad. Have you been getting enough sleep lately? I can kind of tell just a little bit, nothing bad, but your eyes kind of do show it just a tad right under. But that's nothing that you couldn't take care of. I just, getting some nice rest the next couple of nights, huh? Okay, I'm gonna look up here at your forehead now. And we're just gonna be looking just a little bit above. Okay. You have a very normal-sized forehead. I know that's such a weird compliment. That's such a weird thing to say, right? You should have a very normal-sized forehead. Some people have a very large one, very small one. You have very normal. That is average. Okay. So I'm looking in here, and it kind of looks like... Okay. So I would definitely say you have drier skin, right? Especially this time of year. Do you know what you're going to be doing for that? You have any plans for that? Could probably turn this off now. So do you have any plans to take care of all of that? Well, there's a couple of things that you could do, to be quite honest, and as somebody that has naturally very dry skin, I can tell you a couple of things. It is very odd that I in particular have very dry skin, and I have psoriasis too. Everybody else in my family has oily skin, both parents included. I got dry skin, but I will definitely say it's a lot easier to deal with personally, from personal experience, than somebody with, super, super, super oily. My spouse has super oily skin, and literally, there are so many products you can't use because of that. Dry skin just loves moisture, soaks it up super well, and usually you don't have as many issues with having a blot or anything. Yeah, so the first thing I would definitely recommend is getting a fantastic toner. Definitely one that has sodium BCA in it and has something like glycerin just to make sure that you can kind of soak in and keep that moisture in. I use a rose one. It's just one that's been recommended by so many people. I definitely recommend that. And I would definitely recommend getting a nice, hyaluronic acid, maybe a B5 moisturizer, just to get some moisture in there. Obviously, if you want to focus on anything with aging, that's completely fine. You can always use, retinol every other night or something like that to get yourself started. I think they have, was it Bug-Joel? If you have any reactions to retinol, you could use that. And then I would definitely also say, considering the season, you could start doing something called slugging. Now, I don't personally use petroleum jelly itself, but they have different versions of it. You can get, what is it called? I think it's, I cannot remember, hydrolyzed castor oil that is made into basically a no petroleum jelly. You can slug with that, which is basically after you've done everything else, you've done your face wash, and I would definitely use something that's very, very, very nice to your skin, very easy going on it. Maybe a ceramide-based cleanser. Use your face wash, toner, maybe a serum, definitely something like hyaluronic acid, something in that area. Then maybe you can do just a nice moisturizer that has, if you're trying to fight any aging peptides in it, maybe some B5, something along those lines. Then after that, do your oil, regular oil, maybe a squalene, because that seems to be the best one to just soak up in there. And then you can slug, which is basically just putting all of that jelly over your face. Just make sure that you are actually washing your pillowcase every couple of days if you do that. And I use a satin pillowcase just to make sure that this stuff stays good as long as possible. Yeah, I mean, especially if you already have damage to your skin like I do, you gotta keep an eye on it for years and years and years to come. So you just gotta keep an eye on it. And another little pro part about the satin pillowcase is it makes sure that your hair does not break off as easily. So you don't have as many issues with frizzy hair as well. So it's kind of a win-win, right? I definitely think that would help you out. Since it seems like winter is kind of not being the kindest and not being the kindest to your skin, which makes sense because it's a very, very, it's a season that takes its toll if you're not prepared for it. It can be very unforgiving, right? But it can also be absolutely fantastic, a nice winter wind blowing through, maybe some nice cider or cocoa next to a fire, you can just see it outside, some nice snowfall maybe. It'd be very nice, but it would also be nice to make sure that you are protected from all of that excess dry air, like us, we don't want to have dry chapped skin, a lot of rashes or anything along those lines. We gotta take care of ourselves, especially considering everything's gonna be getting hectic. If you get a routine down, you don't even have to worry about it. Don't even have to worry about it.